Chief Ikuku was surprisingly now very scared of Uchechi to the extent that he couldn't query her anymore over anything she does wrongly. Neither could he complain his ordeals to anyone because he was very ashamed of himself. Once upon a time, in the beautiful village of Uzonna, lives a great African chief known as Chief Ikuku. Chief Ikuku is a very wealthy and prosperous man who is known far and wide for his vast farmlands, numerous cattle, grand estates, and the large family he caters for. Chief Ikuku is a well-respected and feared man in his entire community. He made orders and everyone obeyed, both old and young. Chief Ikuku, however, had one big problem in his life, despite his wealth and great influence in his entire village. His problem was the management of his large household. The chaotic nature of Chief Ikuku's entire household after his beloved wife passed on and left him with the responsibilities of their home made Chief Ikuku very sad and restless. The burden of raising their young children alone, as well as other members of their household, which includes extended family members, house servants, and some helpless poor villagers that lives with him, were all on Chief Ikuku's shoulders. Prior to the death of Chief Ikuku's beautiful wife, his role was just to manage their external affairs and make money for their home. The disorderliness from everyone after the death of Chief Ikuku's wife was something he found really difficult to understand. Watching some servants gossip during work hours rather than work, and some children play endlessly and talk rudely to people made him really angry. In Chief Ikuku's desperate bid to restore sanity around his home, he decided to seek for a housekeeper for his home from a faraway village. From the moment Uchechi, the new chief housemaid, stepped her foot into Chief Ikuku's household, everything magically started changing for good. Uchechi quickly took charge of all the members of Chief Ikuku's household by instilling fear and respect all round, as well as creating different rules everyone was bound to abide by to ensure that everything about Chief Ikuku's household was in order. Within few weeks of Uchechi's arrival, Chief Ikuku's household became an abode of complete orderliness as well as so neat and spotless. All the house staff were reporting to duty as at when due now, with no atom of laziness nor gossips during work hours. The flowers and gardens were all so trimmed and amazingly perfect. The cooks were also on point with their food preparations, as all served meals tasted amazingly gracious and were equally very healthy. All the children became so well behaved and stopped wasting all their hours playing aimlessly and talking to people rudely. This positive turn of events in Chief Ikuku's home brought great joy to Chief Ikuku's heart and made him shockingly multiply Uchechi's salary by 3 within just 3 months of her stay in his home, as the perfection of everything in his entire household within her short stay blew his mind away. As the days went by, Chief Ikuku soon started seeking Uchechi's opinion on other matters which were beyond his household affairs, as he believed that anyone this good in home management will have great ideas for other things as well. Little by little, Uchechi's influence over Chief Ikuku started to grow. Chief Ikuku, who had always been a very confident and self-assured man, soon found himself becoming extremely dependent on Uchechi's final words before taking decisions on vital affairs like in his business deals, village disputes, and even extremely personal affairs. It was as if without Uchechi's final words and assurance, Chief Ikuku won't be able to do anything at all. Uchechi's words were like a soothing balm for Chief Ikuku, and her advice always seemed to bring him great success. As Uchechi's influence on Chief Ikuku continued to go deep, Chief Ikuku's character started changing gradually. Chief Ikuku started becoming really distant and withdrawn, and was no longer the warm and generous man he used to be. His decisions, which used to be so fair and filled with wisdom, soon started becoming really plain and empty, because once Uchechi doesn't approve of something, Chief Ikuku will quietly succumb to her verdict, whether it was good or bad. As the days went by, the more Uchechi's grip on Chief Ikuku continued to grow, the more she continued to weave her web of control around Chief Ikuku. Uchechi would, in her moments of advising Chief Ikuku, subtly sow deep seeds of mistrust in Chief Ikuku's heart against his friends and families, especially the ones she feared may be an obstacle for her in the nearest future. This made Chief Ikuku become so fearful and highly suspicious of everyone, especially his closest allies, who Uchechi made him believe were all plotting evil against him. The other members of Chief Ikuku's household were not left out entirely, as Uchechi constantly made Chief Ikuku send away some of his loyal servants, especially the ones she feared would be obstacles to her secret mission. Not long after, all the children in Chief Ikuku's household, including his own biological children, who used to be so full of life, all started becoming pale and extremely silent. The once bubbly and lively household of Chief Ikuku was now a very quiet, cold, and oppressive place to work on. Meanwhile, as everything continued to fall in place in Chief Ikuku's home under Uchechi's rule, Uchechi's personal greed continued to grow ferociously. Uchechi soon started coveting Chief Ikuku's wealth and status for herself by constantly manipulating and twisting Chief Ikuku's mind into transferring most of his valuable assets to her own name. Gradually, one of the most powerful and influential men in the land of Uzonna started becoming an extremely weak man within his own household because of his chief housemaid. Before Chief Ikuku's very eyes, all he worked and labored for in his lifetime were moving over to his chief housemaid Uchechi. Chief Ikuku was surprisingly now very scared of Uchechi, to the extent that he couldn't query her anymore over anything she does wrongly. Neither could he complain his ordeals to anyone, because he was very ashamed of himself. Sometimes in Chief Ikuku's quiet moments, he will find himself crying helplessly in his inner chambers, because nobody in his household had regards nor respect for him anymore like they used to, as they now all feared and obeyed Uchechi's orders more than his own. One fateful night, While Chief Ikuku was very deep asleep, his late wife appeared to him in a dream. She told him that their entire household was in great danger, as the chief housemaid he brought into their home had bewitched their entire household, including him, Chief Ikuku. Chief Ikuku's late wife warned him that if he didn't take any actions that would stop Uchechi quickly, he would lose all they had to Uchechi and she would kill him in the end. Chief Ikuku woke up from that dream extremely terrified and soaked in his own sweat. And for the first time in months, it seemed as if the fog that clouded his mind shifted a bit. Chief Ikuku disguised himself immediately as one of the ordinary servants in his household and quietly snuck off his palace to go and visit his age-long elderly friend who was a great Dibia. Chief Ikuku narrated his dream to his friend Isa, the great Dibia. After Chief Ikuku's narration, Isa did some spiritual consultations and confirmed to Chief Ikuku that his late wife was completely right about Uchechi, his chief housemaid. It happened that Uchechi was indeed an evil witch who made a pact with some dark spirits to continue to surrender bright destinies to the spirit in exchange for wealth and power. Uchechi charmingly worms her way into people's lives, and once they start to trust her, she will use her Dutch magic to enslave them spiritually and in turn start controlling them physically as well as converting their assets to herself before finally killing them. Chief Ikuku was so shocked to speak while he listened to his friend Isa, the great Dibia. Isa, the great Dibia, did some traditional cleansing for Chief Ikuku and broke him free from the evil bondage Uchechi, his chief housemaid, trapped him in. It was at that moment that it dawned on Chief Ikuku that truly there was something unsettling about the way Uchechi carried out her duties in his home. Her extreme perfection in everything she did were quite unnatural for a normal human being to achieve in a new place of work within a short period of time the way Uchechi did. But because Chief Ikuku was so pleased with the orderliness and perfection Uchechi brought to his entire household, he didn't care so much about how she was achieving them at that moment. Isa, the great Dibia, followed Chief Ikuku to his home in a disguised attire. When they both snuck into Chief Ikuku's home and settled in, Chief Ikuku summoned Uchechi to his chambers. Uchechi nonchalantly showed up and rudely started querying Chief Ikuku about the old guest he brought home she didn't know about. It was at that instant that the extent of Uchechi's grip and manipulations on Chief Ikuku and his household dawned on Chief Ikuku as he angrily stood up and ordered Uchechi to be silent in his presence. Uchechi laughed out loudly and quickly tried to summon her dark powers to help her put Chief Ikuku back in check, but it didn't work. Unknown to Uchechi, Isa the Dibia had already sprinkled a spiritual diffuser round Chief Ikuku's inner chambers before they called Uchechi into the chamber. Uchechi quickly tried to run away, but Isa the Dibia blocked her off. Isa the Dibia immediately ordered Uchechi to confess all she had done to Chief Ikuku's entire household, or she will be burnt to death. Uchechi fearfully went on her knees immediately and started crying and confessing her atrocities. After her confessions, she led the entire household to a corner of the house where she buried her symbol of control and uprooted it, as well as burnt it. Isadi Dibia now did a general cleansing for all the members of Chief Ikuku's household. He also stripped Uchechi of all her spiritual and evil powers so that she will never be able to use it on anyone else ever again in her life. The elders of Uzonna land went ahead to banish Uchechi from their place, to never ever return anywhere close to their village or neighboring towns or risk being executed. Chief Ikuku was extremely grateful to his late wife, who notified him of the evil woman in their household. He went ahead to organize a very large feast to celebrate the memorial of his late wife, as well as pray for her soul to keep resting peacefully. He equally gave so many beautiful gifts to his old wise friend Isa, the great Dibia, in appreciation for helping him free his entire household from the shackles of Uchechi, the evil witch. Little by little, the oppressive atmosphere in Chief Ikuku's home started lifting off, as his household slowly started becoming a place of happiness, joy, and laughter again, like it used to be when his wife was alive. Chief Ikuku also realized that what he was panicking over, thinking that his home was in great disorderliness after his wife's death, were just his own anxieties and fear that his household will not be normal again without the touch of a woman. Chief Ikuku vowed never to allow himself to ever get swayed and manipulated the way Uchechi did to him by anyone else in his entire life again. This is the end of my story. The moral of this story is that we should always be careful when bringing people into our homes. If you cannot trace someone's roots, please do a serious double check before introducing them into your household. Secondly, we should always be prayerful in this life because there are so many evil people walking around the face of earth looking for people they will destroy. Finally, evil is not good. It doesn't matter how long one perpetrates their evil in this life, one day they will surely be caught. Thank you for watching.